doing? And welcome to another exciting episode of Technology Tuesday. I'm your host, and I have a very special guest and a very special episode today. So make sure you tell your friends, your partners, anyone who needs to be on the show today to go ahead and tune in and hit us up in the comments at hashtag live if you're checking us out live. And uh-oh, I got something going on. Huh, I don't even know where that is.
Uh-oh, what's it saying? I see you on I see you on my restream.
Oh, I see. I see know what's going on. I know what's going on. I know what's going on. Boom. All right. Took care of that. So, oh man, love it. We're going to have a great show today, guys. Listen, got a very special guest, and today we're going to talk about live streaming and all the things you can do with live streaming with my very special guest. If you are catching us live, hit us up at hashtag live. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you are catching us on the replay, hashtag replay and let us know. We are going to dive in right now. All right. I would like you guys to welcome my very special guest, Tanya Smith. Thank you so much for being here. And before we dive in, I want to share something with you that I really appreciate you being here today because I enjoyed your show. So, my show is Technology Tuesday. I know you have Tech Tuesday. And I started my show, in 2020. The first episode was April 21st of 2020. And you
Wow.
get into the flow, and it becomes a labor of love. And sometimes you're really excited about the shows. Well, let me speak for me. Sometimes I'm really excited about the shows, and other times it's like it's the day and the time I got to do the show, and you put in the work. Um,
Yeah.
and so it becomes a labor of love. But what I really, really appreciated was seeing your show and understand from a viewer's perspective why they enjoyed my show. Because I was like, now I get it from an end users because I kind of forgot that over the years. So I really, really enjoyed it, and I feel like you're my Technology Tuesday sister. So thank you for being here, and can't wait to dive into all the stuff we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, this is fun. And I love anybody who's a techie. So, of course, when you reached out, I was like, okay, well, hey,
Yes,
this is
yes,
like you said, my sister, my brother, all of that. So,
yes.
yeah, I'm super excited and glad to be here, Greg.
Oh
And it's
man,
great to connect with you like real in real time because we've connected on, you know,
show, yeah.
on the socials.
Yes, yes. So, foresight, I knew I was going to do a technology show years ago. Um, and there's a little background history about my show, just for everybody's talking. We're talking about doing shows, live streaming, and this is a live stream. But I purchased the
Mhm.
domain Technology Tuesday 18 years ago in
Get out.
2007. In 2007, April of 2007. And then I actually didn't do a show with that domain for over 10 years. I kept saying, I'm gonna. I'm gonna,
Yep.
right? So listen, if you're out there and you're thinking about doing something and you don't feel bad if you haven't started yet, you just have to decide when's the time for you to start. Not only that, I started two other times before I actually got consistent with it. I kept trying, started, and not being consistent with it. So don't feel bad. You just have to lock in and say, this is my time. And when you're ready to go, ready to go. And if you may have to try a couple times like I did, but I finally got it going. Technology Tuesday is very popular. I love doing the show. I love my fans. And so that's what, where, how I got started. And so we're
Mm.
going to start this off by how did you get started in the live streaming?
Oh goodness. For me, it was now I had been doing like you years ago. I used to do something called Click of the Week because I've always been tech savvy and I've always had people say, "Hey, tell me your recommendation for XYZ tool." So I used to on YouTube way back when do a show called Click of the Week, but I was not on camera. Like I knew I don't want to be on camera. I'll be behind the scenes. I can be the voice. I can do slides. I can do screen shares, but I didn't want to be on camera. So it wasn't until years later, and now it's maybe been about 5 years, that I decided, you know what, I need to make a switch because my organic reach was nothing. It was just all of the social media platforms where I used to be able to really make an impact. I was noticing that I wasn't getting any type of visibility. And I had to make some decisions like, do I want to continue to do this or do I want to leave it alone? And so I knew that a lot of people don't do live streams. And that's what the social platforms were asking for. They call it feeding the beast, right? If
Uh huh.
the platform is asking for something, in order for you to be seen or to get what you want, you give them what they want. And so the other mantra that I really adopted for myself was when you do the things that others won't, you get the opportunities that others don't. And so
Nice.
in recognizing that, I thought, okay, I got to get past all this, these issues and I'm going to try it. But knowing myself, Greg, I couldn't just like try it a little bit and put my toe in the water. I had to commit to it, or else I knew I wouldn't see results. And this is just from experience. You learn over time, right? These things. I knew business. I just didn't understand necessarily if video was right for me. So I ended up committing to doing a live stream once a week for a year. And I said, if this doesn't work, I'm out. But it worked in a lot of different ways. On a professional level, on a personal level, there was a lot of growth I didn't even realize I needed to go through. But all of that led me into the space that I'm in now because as I started creating systems and workflows and understanding how I wanted to do it more efficiently, then I wanted to teach other people. I kept getting asked, hey, teach me how to do it like that. So that's where it is.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it's funny you talk about that growth, right? Because for me, like I said, I started several times. And what I did was I got someone to do the show. I always got someone to do the show with me, right? It was never like I'm just going to live by myself. Because when I first started, and I don't think I've ever shared this on the show, but when I first started, it was like, listen, I'm good if you ask me questions. I just need someone to get me going to ask me questions. And so Jerry was like, listen, I'll start the show. And it's funny, the first episodes are hilarious. Now I'm looking at him. He would start the show. I would feed him the questions beforehand, and then that's how we got into doing the show and talk about the technology. So I had to go through that too. Like, I can do this, but I need to, and I learned from doing it over and over and having reputation how to just uh, get to the point where I was confident enough to do it myself, right? And then at
Yes,
that point, it was like I really enjoy having someone, and so we just kept it going, and we've been going strong all this time.
that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
And so we
So
did it in different ways, but we still got it done. It's just about figuring out what works for you
what works
and
for you?
knowing yourself enough to make the adjustments to have either a person or having systems or whatever is going to help you to get to do the thing that you're trying to do. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that.
The other thing, having a person also helped me be accountable because it was like, they're depending on me because we said we're going to do this, right? And I can't be
Hmm.
like, well, I don't know, we're going to, so having another person help me be accountable. Why do you think live streaming is so powerful for visibility and in today's, today's time with social media? Why do you think it's so powerful?
I've thought about this a lot. And to me, it's powerful for a lot of different reasons. But the thing that stands out to me in this moment is that it really, truly is a way for people to engage with you no matter where they are. So there's no global boundaries, right? There's nothing keeping you from reaching someone who's across multiple countries with your message. There's nothing that is better than having an engaging conversation with a human, right? Especially in the age of AI, which I love. I love it. But at the same time, I recognize the need for people to have more personal interactions with other humans. And so One of the reasons why I think it's so powerful is it gives us this platform to be able to reach people on a global level and have real, genuine conversations, whether it's in the chat, whether it's on screen, but you're having real conversations where people get to know, like, and trust you. And if they want to buy from you, they can, or if you have a different purpose or reason, that's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's for multi-purpose, right? So it doesn't really matter what your goal is. If you have a cause that you want to promote, if you have something you want to sell because you have a business, if you simply want to engage with people on a more personal level, live stream has it all. And it's going to give people an opportunity to really experience you in that 3D dimensional, right, way. It's not just your voice, it's not text. It is a real person with real expressions. And gosh, I just on a heart level feel like live streaming is gold. And I wish more people understood that.
Wow, I never really thought about it like that, on that level. So that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. And you were talking about people reaching out to people. This looks like this is that Dr. Taki? Do you know how to pronounce it? Is that one of your beloved followers?
I don't know, but hey, welcome, Dr. Taki. Is it
Awesome.
Taki or Tashi? You'll have to
Tashi,
pronounce it
Tashi.
in the yeah. Tell us in the chat how to pronounce it so we can put respect on your name.
Yes, I believe it's Tashi. Tachi.
Awesome, love it.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I think that sometimes people have roadblocks when it comes to this, because to do this, it takes a little bit of technical skills, but less than I think most people realize. But it's more
Yeah.
important of being able and willing to get in front of the camera. So since this is what this is your lane of teaching people how to do this, what are some of
Mm-hmm.
the biggest uh, mental blocks people have when it comes to going live?
Mm. So I just wrote a post about this, expressing, well, sharing a story about something that happened to me. But a lot of people worry and are concerned about judgment. Like, what are people going to think about the way that I look and how I appear on camera? What are people going to think about how I'm speaking and how I sound? Because I don't like the way I sound. I hear this all the time. What if people judge me in a way that's just going to break my spirit and they're putting things in the chat that are going to be, demeaning and that are going to blow up my self-esteem, which may already be low? What if it's going to cost too much for me to do this because I have to go out and buy all this gear that I see these people? I see Greg on this beautiful set, right, with these lights going. I don't know how to do any of that. So they have all of these doubts about how to, and they have more doubts about the, I'm going to say vanity, but this, I'm not saying it in a way that's meaning, I'm not saying it in a way that is diminishing the value of vanity, because I want you to feel confident and to feel good about what you're doing, right? But the more important focus, really, in my mind, Greg, is what is your message? And who are you trying to reach with that message? Because if you can focus on that and less on yourself and more on who is it that I'm trying to make this impact with, I think the other stuff starts to take secondary priority. So getting down and dirty into the thing that you need to focus on the most, it's what do I want to say? What is it that I feel like needs to be said in order to help move people from point A to point G? Like, how am I trying to transform people from one space to another with what I'm sharing, whether it's my personal story or a technique or, a strategy or a tip that most people don't know, but I happen to know it. And people ask me all the time, how do you know these things? So, I mean, just getting comfortable with understanding that you are powerful and that what you have to say is going to be very different than what anybody else shares, because you uniquely are designed with a purpose in mind. And so sharing that purpose, that's the priority, making sure that people are going to benefit from what it is you're sharing, to me, that's priority. That's way more important than all the other extra things. But it did take me a minute to get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man, um, I think for me, I wanted to share the technology more than I was concerned about what other people would think. I had a desire to give people the understanding because I feel that, God blessed me with the ability to teach technology in a way that can make it as so people can understand it and use it in a way that most people, if I didn't do it, they wouldn't get it. Or if I didn't share it, they wouldn't hear about it. And people have told me, Greg, you find these things so early. And I do. I find things very, very early. I'm usually one of the first ones to share some things, some tools, tips, and technology about things. So I just felt like that was more important than anything, all the other stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what I can share is one of my just I went and dug it up for you. I'll show you what one of these looks like. One of our very first shows. We'll jump to the desktop so you can see it. So this was me and Jerry, one of the first shows. But yeah, we started out just sharing the stuff with sharing the tools, tips, and resources with everyone, um, as best we could. But when you're first starting out, it may not be as uh, you know as glamorous as you want it to be. But the most important thing is just starting.
Yeah.
Just starting.
Yeah.
So how would you like? So we talked about that mindset and getting over it, but how would you coach someone who is absolutely terrified of getting on camera?
First of all, the first thing I'm going to say is you don't have to do this. Okay. I used to be in this, I used to have this thing where I was trying to convince people, and hey, you really need to do video. You need to do live streaming. And at some point I realized, Greg, it's not for everyone. So you don't have to do that. There are so many different ways of media, right? There are so many different ways you can get visibility right now. There's so much you can do. So if it's not for you, you get to make that decision. If it is something you're interested in doing, then what I'm going to coach you around is, okay, how can we remove the roadblocks and the obstacles that are in the way of you doing what you want to do? So first we got to get past the you want to do this. And those are the people that I work with now, because I was like, I'm not trying to convince people anymore. I'm not pulling teeth to try to get this thing done. Like, let me work with people who actually know they want to do video, but now they're like, well, how do I do this with confidence? And so from a confidence building standpoint, it really is about it's about affirmations, it's about self identification and figuring out who you are and what you want to be when it comes to being on camera. It's about shining. It's things that you have to work on that are way beyond and outside of the whole marketing field. It's a lot of inner work first. The
Yes.
inner work, if you can get to the point to where, and I teach this all the time, you understand your full brand. So you know your mastery, what it is you're good at. Like, this is what I want to be known for when I do get on camera. Your mastery, your market. Who do I want to talk to? So you may not know that for real off the bat, but you're going to have to experiment and start looking at the themes and the branches of people that you're talking to and find out what are the commonalities. So the market, your message, what do you want people to walk away with whenever they see your videos? And also the method by which you are helping people to transition from this point A to point G thing. So, how are you helping people to move from moving to, I don't know anything about this, to now I feel confident and I'm consciously aware that I'm able to achieve this type of result? So, knowing those four things is where we start. And then, well, first, like I said, we start with, do you even want to be on video?
This is what
Like,
you want to do. This is what
if
you
you
want to
want to
do.
do it, I'm gonna help you do it. But if you don't, I'm not gonna sit here and try to push you into it. It's not for everyone.
Right. So, what is your take on pre-recorded video versus truly live?
Mm, Okay, so I'm a live stream snob, so I'll start with that. um, I'm not saying it's bad to do pre-recorded. What I'm saying is that could be a missed opportunity. So the folks in my Stream Bosses Academy, if any of them are watching, they know that I say this all the time. You can certainly leverage pre-recorded videos, especially if you're trying to like fill a gap. So you said you were going to be live every week. And so now you're going to use that pre-recorded video because you're going to be on vacation in Italy this week. But you still want people to be able to get content. But don't lie to your audience and tell them that you're physically there when you're really not. Instead, you can say, hey, I recorded this live for you because I couldn't be here since I'm vacationing. So feel free to leave your questions in your chat and all of that, but I'll be back next week. The reason why I think live streaming is so important, especially when it comes to creating connections, is because you are there in real time. You're acknowledging people by name, you're answering their questions. You're like really there with them. They feel like they're in the room with you. And they lose that when you do pre-recorded as live.
Yeah.
Now, on-demand videos though, Greg, I mean, I know that my channel has grown more slowly because I don't have a strong enough balance, a mix of pre-recorded 10-minute or less videos plus the live streams because my whole focus is primarily live. So there is a way for you to really consider how do I have the mix, the variety. And that is important. I acknowledge that. I just think that if it's about, like it is for me, building a business brand and building connections and capitalizing on those connections so that you truly understand who you're working with or want to work with, and they know they want to work with you. If you want to get that type of connect, live streaming is it.
Yeah. I'll be honest. There have been times, not a lot, but because I would think of my show as like a TV show. I'm like, listen, this day at this time we go live, and there have been times when it's like, yo, they put replays on TV, so this week we're going to do a replay.
Yep.
And there have been times when in the description for the, I would say previously streamed on this date. And I'd put that at the
Mm-hmm.
bottom because most people ain't gonna read the description anyway. And you know how it is. Some people would see the thing, some people, wouldn't. And of not 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't know that it was pre-recorded anyway, unless I had said something at like a specific date or something in the
Mm-hmm.
show. But the other thing, instead of just playing it, I would be here where I could put up comments. Now I couldn't obviously say something about the comment because it's pre-recorded, but they could see it pop up. So it was like
Yes.
semi-live. So there's a little tricks that I did back, when I sometimes
Yeah, I've done it too.
yeah, sometimes.
Hmm. I've
But yeah,
done it too.
I completely agree with you. If it's not live, don't say it's not if it's not. Um, you know,
Yeah. Don't say it is if it's not.
yeah, don't say it is if it's not. If you sometimes you don't have to say anything, but just whatever you say, don't say it is if it's not.
It's just for me, it's an integrity thing. It's about being in alignment with who I
Mm,
say I am. If I'm going to be honest and authentic and I want to promote people doing that with each other, then I have to be that way too, no matter what I'm putting out there. So, again, not knocking the idea of using pre recorded, just saying that that could be a missed opportunity if that's all you do. Like I had a client who that's all she wanted to do because she's like, I can't go live on this time of day and I don't want to do this. And I'm just going to pre record and upload it as though it's live. Said, okay, fine. So when she finally realized that everything I was telling her was accurate, is when she finally started doing her live streams, like real lives. And she was like, oh my God, it's so much more powerful because the energy of the people that are in the chat in real time is like lifting me and helping me to even be better and to show up, more powerfully on camera.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
I just gave her the side eye, like, so now you listening?
All right, cool. So let's talk about some tools here. Let's get into the good stuff. If you could
Okay.
only use three tools
Oh.
for live streaming content, what would they be?
um, okay, I would want my eCam live. I definitely want my eCam because I want that like professional look and I want it to be, versatile. I want it to look like I want it to look. I would use Cast Magic because it helps me to repurpose all my content in like minutes. Um, and we're talking software only, Greg, right now.
It's whatever tools. So it doesn't have to be
Okay,
software.
tools. Okay, so then I have to add a piece of gear. I have to add some hardware. I'll say definitely my microphone, my Shure MV7. It's this,
Okay.
this right here.
Okay. Man,
Because I always get compliments. People are always like, "Oh my God, your voice, it sounds so robust." I'm like, "Yeah, it's the mic."
yeah. You got to invest in a mic. It's funny because I it's your preference, right? So I don't like the mic being in the shot. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Most podcasters, they want it right up to their face, but it's like I've always wanted it not right up in the shot. But
Yes.
yes, you have to. That's one of the things, because the sound quality is actually more important in the video, right? Because if they can't
Yeah.
hear you, what's the point?
Yep.
And nothing you can show them unless you kind of words and can work. So the sound quality is on point, and people will not tune in if it's bad. People will not
Right.
tune in if it.
Even
So
though they say, because the disclaimer is that they say with the stats, right, that most people watch videos with the sound off. Don't buy that. Greg, you're totally right. People have to hear and understand what you're saying in order for it to really be effective. So, yeah.
yeah. So Ecamm, I got that um, early on, when they first came, because that company had something. They had a Skype recorder, which I had back in the days because I was doing
Yep.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
we had did some other software. I think we started and tried a couple different ones before we landed on Ecamm. And I had it for a while, so that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely that's what you are seeing. This is Ecamm, that you guys are seeing, and me and Jerry have done a uh, several shows on what we use to do the show. And Cast Magic is a really good one. I got that early too, and then I got it again when it was on a special deal.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, if I was to share a tool, a resource, it would be the Stream Deck, which allows you to easily hit buttons to do things on your computer, to change scenes, to add sound effects, um, things like that. So the Stream Deck would be one I would add to that list. Definitely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I have a Rodecaster Pro too, but I really rebelled against it initially. I was like, it's too much. Like, I don't need all this extra. My husband is the one that convinced me because originally had just the regular Rodecaster Pro, and for some reason it died on me within a month. Like it just stopped working. So I said, I'm not messing with it. I'm just going to return it. I don't care. And then he ended up getting the two for Christmas for me. And he said, no, you really need to make sure your sound is on point because you're doing a lot of audio and video, publishing. So you need to have this tool. I like it. But one of the things James Hicks shared with me earlier today is that they have a call me now option that's in beta.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So now you can use it and you can call other people's Rodecaster Pro 2s or Rodecaster devices and they can call you, or people can just call in from a browser. So I'm thinking about implementing that into my show, my live stream shows. I'm super
Like
excited about
like
that.
like radio. Caller number one.
Yeah.
You're on.
Call
you're
on
on.
in.
Call on
What's your
in.
question?
Oh man, when Ecamm first came out with the guest feature, I've always thought about having like a live guest audience of 6 to 9 people. I thought it was
Yeah.
really cool. Um,
Yeah.
Let me shout out some of these people here because we got. I've been putting their message on the screen, but we got Mr. Singh. We got Positive Lifestyle. We got Matthew Martin. We got Dr. Vibe Show. So thank you guys
What's up?
for hanging out with us and joining in. Appreciate that. So let's have some fun. Let's share with me share with me your first or one of your biggest live stream fails.
Oh, mm. Okay, I have a lot, but I'll share the biggest. Probably was the night. I think I was doing a live with 𝐊𝐔𝐿, and me and Gabe, we were crushing it. It was either him or it might have been, I can't remember, but I think it was Gabe. We were doing a live stream, and there was this major storm, and everything went dead. And this was before I realized the power of having a backup battery, right? So everything died. But then somehow we were able to come back on and reconnect about, I don't know, it was within a 10-minute time frame, and reconnect, and everybody jumped back in. And then it died again. And I was like, okay. But that was a lesson for me to make sure that I always have a backup plan, because there are things that just will fall apart. It doesn't matter how prepared you are, there are things that are going to go wrong. It was something that taught me how every time I know that something was going wrong, I realized I needed to make a note of that, and then I needed to do a gut check about how did I feel about that? What do I want to do to make sure that I remedy this for next time? And so getting that battery made a whole lot of sense. And being able to plug in all my major systems into that in case I'm going live and there's another storm or whatever happens, I know I can remain up long enough to tell people, hey guys, like here's the other place that I'm going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big fail. But my secondary fail, this one's little, but it was big for me, is talking on my live stream with the mute button on for like a good 10 minutes. People were trying to call me, people were trying to tell me in the chat. I didn't know. I was oblivious to it.
Man, that has to be one of mine. I did a whole show and no audio. The whole thing. The intro, everything, like, and no, we couldn't tell that there was no audio. I don't listen. That's one of the big ones, no audio. And then there was another one time. Um, man, I don't even know. I don't even remember what happened, but I couldn't do something or share something or something. No, I know what it was. I was trying to get into. Normally, I would get into these. I would go live into multiple groups, and then all of a sudden, it was like bling, bling, bling. I got all these notifications that they were all failing, and
Oh,
no matter what I did, I could not get it going that week, and it really, really bothered me. And I remember just some of the people in the groups that I in, they were like, "Hey man, don't worry about it. We'll be in next week. You'll figure it out." And they really encouraged me. So it made me feel better that they did that, because it just aggravated me. And normally I can handle, even like at the beginning of the show, something's going to happen sometimes, and
yeah.
we learn to handle it. But when
Hmm.
it was a complete, it just wouldn't connect. That frustrated me. Definitely frustrated.
Yeah. And you don't, the thing is, you sometimes your reaction is everything,
Yeah,
right? So if you just break down and you start throwing things, or you just, start boohoo crying, any of that kind of reaction is not a good idea on camera,
yeah,
right? And so I've learned to laugh. Like, I'm just going to laugh at myself. I messed up for
yep,
10 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I was
yep,
on mute, didn't know it. Psh, I said all the right things. Y'all missed all the good stuff I was saying in that 10 minutes.
yeah, yeah. One of the things about having a co-host is sometimes the co-host can tell you, "Hey, this is going out," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna fix it." I was like, "Just
Yeah.
give me a second," and he'll ramble on for a minute or two while I fix it. So that's some of the good things about having a co-host. As you're scrambling, pressing buttons, and trying to figure things out, uh, everybody's not staring at you doing it.
Right.
So, which tech tool did you learn to actually love but didn't think you were going to?
It's definitely I'm gonna say definitely. It's the Rodecaster Pro 2. Um, Mainly because I thought it was taking up too much space on my desk and it had too many buttons and gadgets. Um, I'm a minimalist, so I like to have desk space, right? I like to have space in between things. And so just figuring out how to make sure that that could work for my style of doing things. And then finally, really realizing the power of all the different features that it has, that made all the difference. But initially, like I said, I didn't want it. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. But I've learned now. I've had it for a few years, so I do enjoy it at this point.
Nice. And for someone who don't know, what is this Roadcaster?
So it's basically a soundboard. It's a if you picture like the rooms where people are doing broadcasting and you recall that it's like all these different colored lights and buttons and things. Yes, okay. So he's pulling one up. What the Rodecaster allows me to do is to have different levels of audio, whether I'm using my microphone, if I'm using different sounds, sound effects. Let me see if I have something on here like this. Oh, I'm not connected right now because we're doing it a different way. But yeah, right. So the clapping sounds, all of that, right? DJ air horns. You can pull all of those different types of sounds in. You can actually use your mobile phone, through Wi-Fi or connected, however you want to do that. But you can use it for augmenting your sound and making your quality be processed better.
Mm,
So you have more of a stereo type of sound. You sound more like a podcast studio versus just using the mic itself.
nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And do you like it better than the Stream Deck? Well, they do different things because you can't process the sound with the Stream Deck. So I get it. I get
Right.
it.
Yeah, I mean, the Stream Deck, I'm going to be honest with you. If you had asked me which tool did I get and I don't use it at all, you use the Stream Deck all the time and most people I know do. I don't. So, I have it, but I found myself like these buttons are too tiny. I can't read that. Like and then I was trying to put little icons on to remind myself being over 50, Greg, it's real. It's like, I don't want to try to use my reader glasses while I'm on this live stream trying to figure out what
Oh
that button's
man.
saying. And
Oh man.
I ended up figuring out for me, it was just easier to click with my mouse. So I have a Stream Deck and it's programmed and all of that, but I never use it. I could probably give it away to somebody.
Well, there you go. There you go. Um, yeah, man. I had mine for a while before I started using it consistently. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing, and I can say that it's either going to use it or it's just going to sit there, because once you start
Hmm.
using it and you use it for more than just streaming, you'll start to come up with a lot of different ways you can use it. But for me, the key was to actually start using it and being consistent with it.
Yeah, y'all don't listen to me about the Stream Deck. Please listen to my friends. Because I literally, for some reason, I just put it aside and I said, I'm not doing this. Just
Nice,
not.
nice. Well, listen, if someone wants to learn how to do live streaming, how can they get in touch with you and how can you help them?
There's a couple of different ways. The most important thing I would do instead of trying to give you 5,000 different links is to say, just go to my website at streamlikeaboss.tv, not .com, .tv. And if you click on the links, it will give you anywhere you choose to follow. If you want to follow me on Substack, if you want to follow on YouTube, if you want to be on, check out my weekly live stream wherever you are, then feel free to connect that way. One of the things that I'm offering is something called a quick start. And so that's very new. the quick start is a way, if you don't really know how to leverage or be more efficient when it comes to your different podcasts, live streams, etc. It's a way to really help you to evaluate where the gaps are. And it's a personal call that I'm doing one on one with folks. So there's just a lot of
Where can we
information.
show them that? Is that on the homepage?
If you go back to streamlikeaboss.tv,
Mm-hmm.
here's the quickest way. Go to streamlikeaboss.tv and then just the slash black backslash will be quick start. That's a quick way. But really, just go to my programs page and y'all can find a lot of the stuff that I have.
Okay.
That's it right there. That's the quick start. So I'm really getting excited about this because Greg, I built this to be a part of my I've learned vibe coding. I've been teaching myself vibe coding and I've been creating an entire suite of custom agents using AI, as so many people are doing, right? But my specialty is in live streaming and making sure that people are more productive in their workflows as it relates to that, because this can take a lot of time.
Listen,
So,
you speaking to the choir right now. You speaking to the choir
yeah,
right now. Streamlikeaboss.tv /
yep,
quick start. Make sure you guys check that out. Yeah, I've been dealing with some AI and some things behind the scenes too. And yes, what you can do is amazing once you really grasp the concept of the things that it can do and how easy it is to set it up if you know the basics. So I know there's a lot
mhm,
of people teaching a lot of things because the industry is definitely changing. This is probably the most exciting time in the last 15 years with things going on with technology. So dive in, you know, whoever you trust, get with them and figure out how you can uh, integrate this technology into your business. I can't recommend it enough. Tanya,
yeah.
thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else, any last minute things you want to share or give away or do while we're here?
Gosh, I'll just say this. I think that, again, live streaming is not going to be for everyone. So I realize that people who are watching this right now, Greg, may or may not decide that it's for them. If you do decide that it's for you, you'll want to follow, just like you said, you want to follow people that you trust. You want to follow people that not only you trust, but they're teaching you how to use it in a way that's going to benefit you, but also make you a more powerful voice to affect the people that are in your circle of influence. Because it's not just about each of us rising by ourselves, it's about how are we making an impact in our communities, making our communities better. We have got to do this right now in this moment. Otherwise, we will continue to see the sorry state of our culture as it is right now. Our society needs us to stand up and to make positive transformation for other people. And so that's what I'm all about. And live streaming, I think, is an excellent tool to help you do that.
Now, I would say amen to that. Amen. Oh, man. Thank you so much for being here. And listen, would love to have you back on anytime you're ready. Love to have you back, and we can definitely do it again. And just thank you so much. I can't wait to tune in to your show. So, are you going live tonight at 7 Eastern?
Yep, 7 Eastern, I'm going to do a live. So I started doing my Tech Tuesdays, as you know. I'm talking about Gamma because I'm surprised at how many people don't know what the Gamma app can do. And so I'm just going to do a walkthrough. And that's what's fun about my Tuesday live streams is I really kind of go in with, I know I want to talk about this particular tool or tech. And so we just go all in. And as people are asking questions, I'm answering, I'm doing demos live and breaking things. And then my Thursday live stream is more polished. It's more structured about a training topic, something that's a little bit more, it's more content rich and heavy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yes. Man, again, I'm a fan. I love it. So, Technology Tuesday, you can get me at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can get Tanya at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can get double Tech Tuesday, y'all. Double up. Get it all. Oh man. All right. Well, listen, you have a blessed day. Guys, listen, tune in to her show tonight. Tune into our show next week. I'll be back with Jerry. Jerry is traveling, so we wish him traveling mercies, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Until then, take care.